Well, hey everybody, Lazerbolt here, and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Flights, where we get together on Friday nights and fly around and check out cool sights and sounds of airplanes and see neat sights of the world. Tonight we're flying this 404 Cessna. It's called a Titan. We've been flying it for a number of weeks here around Scandinavia and Northern Europe, and tonight is going to be our final night in Scandinavia, where we will be, after tonight, we're going to be heading over to Japan. So that should be a good time. Tonight, however, we are heading from the northern tip of Norway, heading east, and we're going to end up in Russia. Don't be triggered, it's just a place, and we won't be there long. But it's a weird place called Chech something or other. It's hard to say, but we'll be getting there just fine. So sit back and relax, grab a drink and a snack, and enjoy yourself. I see we already have somebody hopping in. We got James Holmes. He says he's... better get my glasses on here. He says he's trying to stay awake so he can watch at least us take off here. So that's cool. I know James is over in England right now, so it's probably pretty late or even early in the morning for him. But thanks for at least saying hi, James. Good to see you, buddy. Travis, you were just telling me how you planted some beans. How did that go? You're in Florida, right?
Yep. Yeah, so it's been super rainy here, like the whole last week, and then even then some, just a couple days off of rain, and planted different types of like green beans, yellow beans, and some mixed varieties of the same kind of bean, and yeah, they all
Nice.
started popping out after like the third 72-hour mark, and
Wow.
beans are pretty fruitful in their germination percentage chance, and right
Yeah.
now I think I got like 95% of them out
I
after
think
about
that's
5 days.
why, like in science class, we always used to germinate beans and stuff because they're really quick growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, beans
Yep.
actually. We got a lot of green beans up here in Michigan. Don't know if people realize that, but yeah, we got like the Stokely Company that's up here in Michigan. A lot of green beans going on.
Nice. Yeah. I like green beans, and um, can't wait to see them all come out. Hopefully, I don't have too much because I planted both of my planter boxes just with beans because I was being a little bit lazy, but also wanted the beans. I know they'll get eaten.
Yep, they'll get eaten for sure. Looks like tonight we're going to be without a couple of our regular pilots, Wingnut Bob and let's see, Longhorn Ram. Both of those guys are on their own separate vacations. Should be a good time for both of them. I wish I could get out of town one last time before it starts getting cold, and it's starting to get cold around here. Last week it was in the 70s and it was beautiful. Today it's closer to 60. So yeah, it's gonna be Michigan weather before too long.
We hit a whole 76 degrees today
You're
at my
not gonna
house
believe
anyway.
it, but look behind us. Look who's gonna join us, at least in the air. Recognize that name?
And Razor.
I know. Yeah, I haven't flown a Razor in, geez, probably a decade. Been a long time. Well, I hope he hops into TeamSpeak here. I'd love to chat with him. Razor's a nice fellow. He is very much into um, the Blue Angels and stuff. I'm having trouble seeing anybody right now. I don't see, just all I see is name tags. I didn't mention anything before because I thought maybe you were in the menu, but I don't see nothing. I just see your name
I
tag.
will.
Same thing when Razor flew over. I didn't see an airplane at all.
I was sitting in the waiting for takeoff, like before you click the ready for takeoff thing, for quite a while, but I do ironically see two name tags for you, so I don't know
Yeah,
what
that
that
happens all the time.
means.
I think what it is, one of
Okay.
them is my airplane and the other one is my character that can walk around. Eventually, halfway through the flight, you're going to see my character just jump out. They just fall out of the bottom of the airplane eventually. It's weird.
Yeah, I I think it's a bug with this 404 specifically because every time I got the last flight a certain distance from you,
Yeah.
it would do that. So,
Right. Yeah, I'm
like,
not sure
if I
if
get
it's
far
particular to
back
the
and come back, it'll
404.
do it again.
I've seen it in many different airplanes, but it's been a thing for quite a while now. Anyway,
Okay.
it is 10 after the hour. We should probably get these birds up in the air. I see Razor is coming towards us. I can't tell what in the world he's flying. He just looks like he's in an invisible. Well, he's in F-16. So yeah, Razor, good to see you, buddy.
What's going on?
Hey, Razor.
Yeah, we saw your name tag and we were like, holy moly, look at that! A Razor gonna come join us.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever flown multiplayer in 2024, so we might as well.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I'm having issues only seeing name tags at the moment. I don't see anybody's airplane. It's a little bit too late for me to do a restart. Maybe I'll do it at the next airport to see if that fixes it. But yeah, we're getting ready to take off out of here. Why don't we climb up to 6,000 feet? We're going to take a left-hand turn out of here to get us on course. And we're going to be flying about 150 knots. We can't go too fast today, maybe 160. It's a shorter than usual flight plan, but it was the only thing I could come up with. There's not too many airports up here. So we can't go too awful fast tonight. But we do need to get up in the air. Give myself notch flaps. Let's get these birds out of here. Reminder, 6,000 feet at 150 knots. Lazerbolt's rolling. Like I said, we'll take a left-hand turn out of here, and that'll get us on course. Yeah, this is unusual for me not being able to see other people's airplanes. That's the first time I've seen that. But usually a good restart of the game, or at least reloading yourself in, will fix all kinds of weird stuff. I'll try that later.
Maybe it'll pop up too. You never know. 2020 was bad about that. It would just randomly stop working and then start working again.
Yeah, flight sims in general are just great for doing strange things that you've never seen before.
Pretty much.
Got a nice early morning takeoff out of here. I think it's about 6:15 in the morning. We should have some nice early morning colors going on. Definitely looks like it's getting cold around here. There's snow everywhere. So how in the world is everybody doing tonight? Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Oh yeah, Razor, I should mention that I am streaming at the moment. So yeah, just so you know,
Yeah,
I like
so
to tell
okay.
people so they're not surprised that we're streaming live.
Appreciate it. Glad it is Friday.
Oh, you and me both. I didn't particularly have a bad week. I'm just glad it's Friday. Passing 4,000 for 6,000.
Alright, looks like you're right on that stall buffer there, Razor.
Nah, we're good.
Yeah, I was going to say, about 150 knots might be a little on the slow side for you.
Good practice.
Actually, we can probably hold a little closer to 160. We normally go 190 in these things. Like I said, it's a slightly shorter flight plan. I don't want to get done in an hour and 10 minutes. You know. I'm very much looking forward to next week. We're going to be taking off out of the that island chain just to the west of Alaska. I believe it's the Aleutian Islands. We're going to be taking off out of there in the Hercules. We're going to climb very high and fly very far. It will be a very long distance, high altitude flight in the Hercules. And we're going to end up in Japan. Should be a good time. The Flight Sim 2024 team just recently updated Japan, so there should be a bunch of cool stuff to see.
Nice.
I heard that island chain was just an illusion.
Nice.
All right. Well, that hasn't
Keep it
changed.
Bet you missed that, didn't you, Razor?
Sure.
That's the nice way to say it now.
Okay, I am going to have to slow this bird right down. Like, it legitimately doesn't want to go slower than 180. If I pull the throttle back further than that, it complains. Like I said, I'm going to try to maintain about 160. A little bit on the slow side even for this airplane. So Razor, what have you been doing with yourself? I haven't talked to you in years, and it's always good to see you, man.
Work, and lots of work.
Oh boy, there's lots of that going around.
It has its moments, but
Guess it's better than being
majority
poor.
of it. Yeah, that is true. I tried to do flight training years and years ago. When I was still around here, maybe even before that. I can't remember at this point, but didn't have the money for it. Now I have. Theoretically, I have the money for it. Don't have the time.
Right. Yeah, isn't
At
that
some
how it
point,
works?
maybe.
It's such a shame. That's why so many people look forward to retiring. It's just like, now that I've got the money in the bank, I need to have some time to do something.
Yeah.
Do either of you two have that, the Dirty 30, that C-130 from, I forget who makes that, but
Blackbird.
Blackbird? Yeah, do either of you guys have that?
I do.
I do.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be quite the airplane when it's in full release. I'm already liking it. But I don't know if you noticed, I just checked my email before the flight, and I got a link to the update for it. Apparently there's been an update, so yeah, I'm looking forward to checking that out. I didn't have a chance to try it out before the flight, but I will definitely spend some time this week monkeying with it. I hope maybe if Wingnut Bob is watching, he's a big fan of that airplane too. And yeah, he'll probably be pretty happy if there's a new update going on.
Nice.
I was gonna bring that up as well. I wasn't sure if you had pulled the trigger on that laser.
Yeah, I did. I bought it a long time ago. Well, as soon as I heard that, it came out relatively cheaply, and then every update they're going to increase the price, I thought, well, I better just get it right now because I know I'm going to love that airplane. That's right up my aisle. So I've had it pretty much since day one.
Yeah, ever since redoing my windows and putting 11 in, I really haven't fully restored everything, so it's one of them I don't have in yet.
Boy, I really wish I could see you guys. I could tell that you're doing some awesome formation flying. That would look awesome with that F-16. Oh, well, like I said, I'm going to reload back into the game when we get to that first airport. Shouldn't take long.
Yeah, I see Razor. He's in a substituted twin-engine airplane, which is fitting, but at least for the flight type. But yeah, I'd see you fine too as well.
Yeah, It does weird things with the model matching in this new sim. Um, Even different than it used to be in 2020. I mean, it's like back in the FSX days, it would just be like, if it didn't understand what airplane you were in, it would always show you in some giant, like A20, an A321 or something, like a big old jumbo jet. It doesn't really do that anymore nowadays. I think it goes more like what was the last airplane that you flew that was kind of sort of like it. That's why I see people flying in the correct airplane all the time, just because that was the last airplane I flew and I'm flying it again now. You know what I'm saying? So if it doesn't know what to show somebody, it'll show the 404. You know, so I mean, that's kind of an interesting way to do it. It's not perfect, but at least you're not seeing a bunch of jumbo jets flying around.
I actually see you guys in the same paint and aircraft as well. So the emergency whatever 404.
Yeah, I'm in that the red like a air ambulance kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That one.
Speaking of, let's check on the passengers back here and see how everybody's doing. Got some dude on the stretcher. Once again, he looks like he's doing just fine. He must be faking it. Got a couple nurses and maybe his wife in the back over there. Yeah, we'll get these people where they need to be. That's one thing they haven't quite cracked the code yet on this game is it's neat to have people in there and it's neat to be able to walk around, but the people just look awful. They are so zombies, man. It is just weird looking.
Why he's sick?
Yeah, maybe that's why he's sick. He don't look healthy. Yeah, Travis, at some point you're for sure going to see my little character drop out of the bottom of the airplane.
Oh yeah, I did already.
Oh, did you? Yeah. It's funny,
Yeah,
too. He looks like he's
dead
sitting
tonight.
down and everything. He doesn't have a parachute. He just falls right out of the bottom. And it might happen more on the 404, but I've seen it on other aircraft, too, including the Hercules.
What's more impressive is Razor's flying with his engines off.
Nice. You got no props turning or nothing.
Yeah, that's just the same thing, I know.
Well, at least it got that right. There are no props turning on that airplane.
That's true.
It is true.
Speaking of sim stuff, I only watched part of it, but maybe the more important part of the last update that the developers put out, which seems to be fewer in between now, but they were mentioning how the SU4 update, they're actually, well, they did a little bit of work on the initial release of 2024, but they're focusing on writing the core code to handle multi-threaded operations on the CPU better, so there
that's
should be
good.
some mild performance updates on the
Yeah.
next update, which will be nice.
I heard something they were doing, too, is supposed to give us some better graphics along the way, too. Something to do with, like, the global textures are doing something, then they're making it do something else. Especially
The night lighting?
The lighting textures, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a comparative, like, side by side. Well, it was one of those to where it's like, they both look good to me. I don't know. They look different, but they both look good. I don't know if one of them looks better than the other. They both look good.
Yeah, I think just kind of more realistic. The example that they showed on their stream was in Dubai, and you can see at night a lot of the sandy areas where naturally you wouldn't be able to see that without some sort of lighting. I think there's kind of an in-between that they might be missing, but at least it's in a better step what they're changing it to, so
They had a pretty
without
impressive
really
shot
looking at it.
of that. They, like they said, they showed Dubai and then they zoomed way out. And it wasn't just like
Yeah.
a zoom, it was an actual in-game pulling way out, and it looked good.
Yeah, I can't complain, they're working on it. I'm sure they made mistakes that they had to work over again, but they're working on it, so that's
Well,
as
just
long
the
as it's
fact that
going forward.
they keep working on it, that's encouraging to me. I mean, this is by miles the most successful flight simulator they've ever released, and that gives them the incentive to keep improving it, you know.
Yeah.
This is the first flight simulator that I've seen to where actual non-sim people have heard of it and tried it. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what they want. They want to make it accessible to everybody and get as many people playing it as possible. And somehow they managed to do that and still keep it a relatively realistic flight sim. You know, it's not super arcadey or nothing like that. But they added a bunch of cool stuff for like gamers to enjoy, not just simmers and not just aviation enthusiasts, but things like the career mode. That's always pretty nice, and just the ability to get out of your airplane and walk around. That's something that people like to do.
Yeah, I think adding some of the assistances that you can opt in for, like controller kind of like the flight stabilization thing that you get on like an RC plane these days,
Yep.
and some other stuff, or maybe closer to you, the drone stuff. You know, if most people flew a drone by hand, it'd end up the crashes, just like the RC plane world. I've tried the RC planes, and that stuff's hard.
Especially when it's coming towards you.
Yeah, exactly. And everything's like so quick too, or can potentially be so quick. And yeah, the fact that you can just opt into that, and it really opens some doors, because nobody comes into aviation being an expert unless if maybe you grew up with it with your, you know, your parents and your family. That doesn't really count.
One of the cool things I like about it is many people I've seen in their videos, they use this to benchmark their system. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of a neat use for it, where people are they build a new computer, and one of their benchmarks is to test it out on flight sim, because it's, you know, notoriously taxing on a system. Not nearly as bad as it used to be. I gotta say, FSX was just horribly what's the word I'm looking for? It was unoptimized in every way. You know, it was. I mean, even if you put FSX on your brand new shiny computer, it would still run like crap, because it's just not a stable program at all. This is beautiful. This the new 2020 and 2024 sims, they just perform fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I can't complain, especially for the scenery loads that you often get. It's a hell of a lot more efficient than FSX ever got close to.
Alrighty, we're about 36 miles out from our first stop. Our first stop is Murmansk. I've heard of the place. Of course, it makes you think of mermaids. Well, let's see, when we get to Murmansk, we will be landing on runway 13. So count on that. We got 8,200 feet of bituminous at runway 13. That's kind of straight in. We do have an ILS frequency. If you're interested, the frequency is 110.3 at a magnetic heading of 129 degrees. Myself, I'm probably not going to use it. It's a pretty big runway. We won't have any trouble finding it. But it is kind of nice to do that ILS landing once in a while. But when we get to Murmansk, count on runway 13. That's what we're doing. We have a relatively low elevation of 247 feet. That's not much at all.
Is it bituminous in case two of us crash?
That's why they call it that. They got the fire department waiting on hand. I really wish I could see you, Razor. I bet you it looks great. Especially, I probably don't have the actual F-16 that you're in, but it looks great having a fighter jet escorting us. especially when we're in a C-130. Having that fighter jet alongside, there's nothing more natural looking than that. It's amazing.
It's pretty neat.
Oh, it's like from my window. My Discord.
So that new Tron movie is out in theaters today. I might actually have to go see that. I like them Tron movies. I was a fan of the first one back in the day, back in the late 70s, early 80s, whenever that came out. That was good, you know. I didn't fall in love with it, but I liked it. It was cool. That's my kind of stuff. And when that Tron Legacy came out a few years ago, that was really good. I really, really liked that. And yeah, this new Tron looks pretty cool. It looks like the people from it's not the Tron world, I forget what it's called, but wherever the hell they're from, the grid, people from the grid are starting to spill out into the real world, and that's going to cause chaos. It looks pretty cool. If anything, it looks beautiful.
Kind of like milk, you know? It's all nice and contained in the bottle, but once it spills on the floor, it makes a big mess.
Makes me cry. People keep telling me not to. Apparently, Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack for that, and it's phenomenal. I like Nine Inch Nails. And I can see it working really good with the world of Tron.
Kind of curious on where they got their band name from. Have you seen a 9-inch nail? That's freaking massive.
Right. I think those are what are called coffin nails. Coffin nails
What
are
are they
really
trying?
Railroad spikes.
Hey, what are they trying to keep?
Like 6 though.
keep those Draculas in and zombies in.
Seriously. Well, I hope they nail it.
Excellent. Bro. So far, everything I've heard about it has all been relatively the same. Every single reviewer I've seen said the music is absolutely astonishing. The visuals are mind-blowing. It's like, especially in IMAX, the visuals and music are just fantastic. The sound design is out of this world. The action is out of this world. But if you're going to it to like have an eye-opening movie experience with like the coolest story you ever heard, and you know, a lot of character growth and all this, it's not that kind of movie. You know what I'm saying? It's, if you're looking for a visual and auditory awesomeness for a couple hours, it's they say it's really good. It's a fun movie. It's just not, you know, they're not going to win any Oscars for acting, you know, even though it has some pretty big names in there. You know, it's just they're not going to win, you know, Best Screenwriter Award or something like that. They say it's rather simple, but hey, that's kind of what I'm into, man. Let's go. I'd go see that on the big screen. The key word is fun. They all said, yeah, it's a fun time. You know.
That's somewhat similar to the Tron Legacy. I mean, they did have like a mild storyline, but it was very mild.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like, yeah, right. You know, to be honest, I probably couldn't even tell you the story of Tron Legacy, and yet I love that movie. That movie was great. I've seen it a number of times. What's the story? I don't know. Some dude goes there, and it's the other guy's son, and then there's another copy of the other dude, but he's younger, and you know, I don't know. Whatever. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah. No drama, or like not any real drama.
Well, it was one of those movies too, to where it's like, I mean, I guess there was drama and there was high stakes, but it was high stakes for the Tron world. It didn't have much stakes in our world. And yeah, fine. I liked the movie. It was good. That's all I want. I want to go to the movies and be entertained.
Some
Was it the
mistakes.
drama that they were trying to exit the grid because they opened the portal and they were going to eliminate the human race?
Yeah, I remember at the very end of it, the guy managed to get his girlfriend out of the grid, and so that probably opened the door for everybody else leaving too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think it was the Clue who was the clone. I think he was given a whatever. The argument was he was given a task to make everything perfect or something to that effect, if I can remember correctly. And so he was making a bunch of clones of the people, and then they were going to go into the real world, and that's what the kid that was, or the whatever, golems, not golems, whatever, the son entered the
Right.
grid, and that would open the portal.
Yeah, I can't even remember the son's name. Yeah, I remember it was a big surprise. I think it was Clue. Turned out to be Bruce Boxleitner, the guy who was Tron in the other movie. Yeah, I remember like
it was Renslayer, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like Clue's right-hand man was Tron.
I haven't been paying attention, and I think we're probably getting really close to just flying right over our airport here. I better bring her down. We're at 9
It's on the other
miles.
side of the river.
Yeah, it's pretty much straight in, but we can't come in at 6,000 feet, that's for sure. Going gear down.
Ghost, hello.
Hey Travis, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hey, Coast. Greetings, buddy.
How you doing? Hey Razor.
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. Happy Friday. We are just coming into our first stop at Murmansk.
Mother Russia.
Mother Russia, indeed. I figured we'd hit here quickly and then get the hell out of town and go to Japan next week. Looks like I caught that just in time. This will be a decent approach. If I didn't catch it a minute later, we would have been over the top of it. Or at least I would have been. So, what's new with you, Coast? How's the weather over there? It's getting cold here.
It's pretty nice here still. It was cold at night though.
Yeah, I think we might have got 62 degrees today. That's pretty chilly. It's going to be in the 50s next week.
High was 68 here, so yeah, we're in the same boat. It was freezing. It was freezing at night.
Yep, yep. Boy, I gotta say, I was absolutely shocked that your Bills couldn't beat the Patriots. I mean, you had them beat, ish. That was a good game, but boy, I really expected you guys to take that.
Well, they fumbled a lot and they did a lot of things sloppy.
There was some slop there for sure. This week, my Lions get to take on Kansas City in Kansas City. It won't be an easy game, but I think for sure we got it. I'm pretty sure that the betting line says that they're expecting Kansas City to win, and I don't know. I haven't seen much out of Kansas City yet to make me scared of them. I mean, I know how good they were just a couple years ago, but I don't think they're one of the elite teams anymore. I really don't. Their record shows it.
Well, here you go. Most teams work or live or die by the quality of the quarterback play. And some of them do have better teams that don't require as much of the quarterback, but some of the more elite teams have the elite quarterbacks, and if they're not playing, they don't perform. That seems the way I see it.
Well, and you need both too. I mean, really, I can't blame it all on Mahomes. I mean, I know, like back for the past, I don't know, 10 years, we had Matthew Stafford for a long time, and he is an elite level quarterback. Absolutely one of the best in the game. And we couldn't win. We couldn't win to save our ass. Just, I mean, and we would try to give him weapons to throw to, and just everything we tried, we just could not win. He would have amazing stats every year, every game. Every game, he's breaking records and stuff. And we just couldn't win no matter what we did. And something about what we did in the last few years, ever since we got Coach Dan Campbell, things have changed. There's an entirely different, just a different culture in the locker room, and just in general, there's a different aura surrounding the Lions now that we haven't seen in a long time, and I'm loving it.
Well, the way I look at it is, if I look at Mahomes, he's getting older. He's a step slower. He still can throw the long ball. The short ball, he's a little less skilled at because he probably doesn't value that as much. And I think, as far as the team goes, the team has begun to rely on him too much. And I think that puts the team into a little bit of a lull. And I think that what happens is, if the team can perform better, he'll perform better. Same thing with Buffalo.
Well, Kansas City was good for a long time. I mean, they had a nice little streak of Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl, and it's really hard to keep that quality of a team together for that long. It really is. I mean, it's expensive. You're going to lose players. I mean, after you make your third Super Bowl, a lot of these players are going to start demanding some big money. So you're either going to lose them, or you won't be able to afford to pay everybody, and it's really hard to keep a team together for that long that is Super Bowl worthy, that is that good. And they had a nice little run, but I don't think it's going to be easy for them to recapture that anytime soon.
Plus, I think some of the other teams start to get your number and begin to be, after planning for you for so many years and developing player personnel. Some of the teams, Patriots weren't as bad as they used to be. They were a better team I've seen them in a long time.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Patriots were going to. I didn't think they were going to be quite that good, but they are. It's like you mentioned it last week. You said that look out for the Patriots because they're a young, hungry team. They got some good players. Their quarterback is playing outstanding right now, and they're going to be very good very soon. Who knows how soon? But they're going to be good.
You got to invent yourself in the NFL world every couple of years. One of the things that stood out for me from that game was that the running game that Buffalo had with Cook wasn't working that well, and if that doesn't work well, the team doesn't work well.
Very true. Well, you got to have a running game. Take it from me, the Lions fan that has Sonic and Knuckles as our running team. And boy, I tell you what, we've been winning ever since we've had that good run going. And that translates into a good passing game. I'm going to go ahead and respawn in here at this airport, and hopefully that will fix any issues I'm having with seeing you guys. No, wait, before I do that, let me switch servers and then switch back, see if that does it. Alright, now I'll give it a second to see if it populates the area. Nope, unfortunately still just name tags. Give me a second, I'm going to reboot. Actually, I'm just going to leave and come back. What runway was that? Was that runway 13?
Yep.
Didn't the visibility have something to do with weather?
Sometimes.
You turn on live weather, turn it off. Maybe that might help.
He can't see our aircraft for some reason. He sees the name tags, but the airplane models don't show up.
Any updates?
All right, let's try this again. Loading in at Murmansk.
Murmansk Tower. Lazerbolt Lima 1 Oscar November ready at runway tree 1. Departing straight out.
All right, taxiing down to see you guys. Hopefully I see you guys. Got your name tags again, so that's something. And just that simple act right there, would that take a minute? That would have taken 20 minutes in FSX. Unfortunately, I still don't see people. That's weird. After all these flights, that's the first time I've seen that, where I don't see people. It's always something. See, we got a Robert Eberhard stopping in saying, "Hey, pilots." Well, how's it going, Robert? Happy Friday to you, buddy. Hopefully you're having a good old time. We are. Alrighty, I'm going to pull up over here and get in position, and we're going to take off out of here. And same thing, I think 6,000 feet should work just fine. 160 knots indicated.
Are you coming down this way, or should I meet you down that way?
Nope, I'm almost there already.
Okay, I just can't tell.
Yeah, when we take off out of here, I think a slight left-hand turn will get us right back on course. Yeah, that's bizarre. I really wish I could see you guys.
Is it too early to say trick or treat?
Yes. It's far too early.
We only serve kids below the age of 16, Travis. You're a year too old.
Well, it's like we're only 10 days into October and I'm already sick of Halloween. And I love Halloween.
Forgot to mention I was flying a ghost aircraft for Halloween. Or for today.
Well, it's working pretty good. I can't see nothing. I can see right through you. You look like Wonder Woman in that invisible jet.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a compliment.
He hasn't got the legs for it.
Oh, that explains it.
Wow.
Robert Eberhard. That's our buddy Longhorn Ram. He must be watching us from vacation. Well, nice. Hopefully your vacation's going good. You're having a good time camping. Right on the ocean up here, apparently. Yeah, buddy. It's good to hear from you.
He's not on the voice server, huh?
No, he's on vacation right now. So he said he's probably just watching the stream. Oh, let me check out this media share once we get up in the air. He said he posted a picture of his site. I'm going to go ahead and check that out. But let's get these birds up into the air. Like I said, 6,000 feet should do it. We're going to check my flight plan. Actually, I love how my flight plan is still there. Good deal. Anyway, 6,000 feet should do it. A little bit of a left-hand turn, and we're going to be on course, heading pretty much straight south. So let's go ahead and spool these birds up. Lazerbolt's rolling. We'll try to maintain 160 at 6,000. Suppose I should have said a right-hand turn out of here, huh? We were just talking about how hard it is to fly a RC plane when it's coming towards you. I just fell for that trap. Yes, our last night in Scandinavia. We've been here for probably 2 months flying around Northern Europe. Ready for a change of pace. I'm really looking forward to flying that Hercules next week. Get back in my favorite airplane.
I need to make sure I update it.
Yeah, we won't be flying the Dirty 30. Oh, you can fly it if you want, but that's certainly not what I'm flying. I want to fly something I know a little bit better than that. That thing's pretty complicated. It's a very modern flight computer and all that kind of stuff. I can't even get it to follow the pink line.
Yeah, I haven't messed with the flight computer too much. Usually I just follow the leader.
Ooh, look at that campsite, buddy. So Longhorn, do you mind if I share that picture on stream? That's a pretty nice one.
Boy, really roughing it with those two dogs.
Nice. God, I can't believe it took me that long to catch that rough joke. Well, Longhorn hasn't responded, but he did mention the picture in the stream, so I'm going to take that as an assurance that he's okay with it. Let me show this. That looks like a nice place right on the ocean. Look at that. Pretty nice. Ah, he says it's fine. Good deal. Thanks, buddy. Tell you what, my Starlink would work great there without any trees overhead. I'm assuming you got a nice breeze coming in off the ocean. Beautiful. Got the puppies going on. Very cool. I'm jealous. I wish I was camping this weekend.
Is that the Pacific Ocean there?
It looks specific, yes.
Say the one that you had on the leash on the second picture you put up, it looked a lot like a Vizsla. And I think with the fourth picture you put it, kind of does look a lot like a Vizsla.
Look at that handsome
Nice,
fellow just sitting there waiting for dinner. How cute. That's awesome.
I used to have a Vizsla for a short time, unfortunately, but it was a really energetic, fun dog.
Wow, that's inside of your RV, that last picture? That's very nice. Look at all the room you got. Little entertainment center and all that. Very nice.
They have kids.
So if a dog knows how to shake, are they legs or are they arms?
Pause. Yeah, Travis, he says 100% Vizsla.
Yeah, they're fun dogs, but they can be, I don't know if his is this way, they can be pretty needy with their owners. Like, whining long distances away. You can hear them. But they're good dogs otherwise. They're really fun to watch them point. They're,
Yeah, it
if
definitely
I'm
looks
not
like
mistaken,
a pointer
they're,
or some type of setter.
I think they're Hungarian pointers? I don't know, anyways, but they're pointers, regardless.
So they only point to Hungarians?
They
point
point
when they're
towards
hungry.
ducks, that's for sure. It's pretty fun to watch them, like try to creep up on them and stuff.
We got our snow tires put on today. How about that, guys?
Oh no, it's too early for that.
What are those?
Yeah, says the guy from Florida.
You don't know what they are. They're an added cost for living in the north. A set of 4 tires is the cost of all the sunscreen you used on the year in Florida.
I try to stay in the shade and put on as least amount as I can by staying in the shade. Especially during the aggressive part of the day.
Know what you mean? We've been out to Arizona in the summertime to visit my brother-in-law, and it gets pretty warm out there in the summer.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's like way different than here because you know it. You're sweating and you can't evaporate there. It all evaporates before it piles up on you, and then all of a sudden you're dehydrated.
My RV has spent a ton of time in Arizona. My RV has spent years there, and then I bought it.
It's a good place for an RV.
It was my uncle's RV, and he used to take it between. He would come to Michigan in the summer, and then in the winter he would go to Arizona. Every year, back and forth, back and forth. Until I owned it, it never saw snow.
Sounds like Michigan's a lot like here, great place to be in the summertime.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. Probably you feel the same way, where how
Yeah,
nice it is
we're
in the
almost the
summer.
same.
It makes up for the fact that we only have like 4 or 5 months, if you're lucky, of good weather. But that weather is
Yeah,
so beautiful.
you're right off of Lake Michigan, and we're right between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario.
Yep, everything's always nice and beautifully lush and green, and just it's absolutely beautiful in the summer. And like I said, we don't get too often. We don't have like, oh, it was 105 today. You don't see that very often. It's like a really hot day is like maybe 90.
Yeah, Laser can drive 10 minutes in any direction and go for a nice drive. It doesn't matter which direction he goes, it's always going to be a nice drive in Michigan during the summertime.
Yeah, it's a good place to get away from it all.
Well, yeah, Travis, you've been to both places. What do you think?
I'm not choosing which one's better, but I do think I didn't really get to spend a lot of time kind of like in your area or the surrounding area too much. There is some, actually, once you get out of town a little bit, it's probably kind of like just as beautiful, a little bit different, I suppose, but yeah, I guess they're kind of like just different but similar type of enjoyment. But yeah, you have to get a little bit further out of town.
Yeah, when you get out of town, it really is, especially when you go south, and,
Yeah.
and that's better.
I had a really cool drive back from after leaving your house, and you know, it just like was barely cold enough to start snowing, and you know, like went through not like a real blizzard, but kind of like a heavy snow for maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes, but it was still not warm enough to stick on the ground. And it was pretty fun, and it tapered off pretty quickly, so you know, I didn't have to worry too much, thankfully. Still was being careful, but for being a Florida boy, that was kind of a fun experience I don't get to deal with all the time.
Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate you dropping by.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. It was fun to meet you. Going out and everything.
Yeah, Longhorn comments that he's glad he lives in Northern California there. He's got like 50s in the winter and 60s in the summer. That does sound pretty nice.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. You get to go out and enjoy the sunshine every day. The sun's shining.
You know,
Yeah, I've been to Northern California. It's a nice place.
you did live there, you say?
No, I went there. I visited there. I was working out there.
Yeah, I went through San Fran one time, and I didn't see anything except the airport. It was nice. We had nice weather.
I think one day I'll make it out there. Spend
I
some.
must admit, San
Fine.
Francisco has a lot of hills.
Yeah, they're known for that.
There's a technique for parking your car in San Francisco. It has to do with how you find a space between two cars. You go, it's sort of parallel parking, but you go back and you nudge the other car just a little bit to move it, and then you turn right and turn it right and turn the car in. You can see the people doing there all the time.
If the car alarm goes off, you nudged it too hard.
Yep, they're good at that, by the way. Not turning off, getting the car alarm not to turn off, but getting their car in there. So they can get their car in spaces there like you wouldn't believe.
Gentlemen, we're only 43 miles out from our next stop. Our next stop is the strangely named Afrikanda Airport. And trust me, we're about as far from Africa as you can get. So we're going to be coming in on Uniform Alpha Frank Romeo on runway 10. So count on that when we get to Afrikanda. Runway 10 is going to be the runway we're taking. It is 8,000 foot of asphalt at an elevation of 468 feet. So that's pretty typical. That's plenty big enough for us. Way too big, actually. but that's what we're going to do. Try remember runway 10.
It's about the mental capacity age that I have.
About 10? Yeah, on a good day, I'm maybe 10 and a half.
You know how my old granddaughter is. She just turned 10.
Holy moly, I remember when she was born. That don't seem that long ago.
She's a honey.
She a chip off the old block, is she?
Well, it depends on whose block we're talking about here.
We're talking about yours. Like, this is the one you said, even at a young age, she was really drawn to your like airplane models and stuff like that. Really liked that aviation stuff.
But actually, both my granddaughters like that. They want the airplanes for some reason.
They're interesting and complex.
Well, plus
You
they
got
look
some
like
good
toys.
brains in the house.
I think it's because there's more play potential with them. You know, you can do a lot of things with them. They go up and down, left, right. There's more play potential with them, and the kids will find any toy that they can make some story up or game up with it as attractive.
I still have that little die-cast C-130 you gave me about a year ago. I love it. It sits right
Yeah.
here. It sits right here on my cockpit. Got to have my C-130.
What version is it?
Looks like a C-130H. It's old-fashioned. It's a really nice, heavy-duty die-cast too. It's very nice.
I actually have one more of them here at home, still in the package that it was bought in,
Oh,
not
really?
taken out yet.
Yeah, I'm guessing this must be a C-130H because it's got the four-bladed props instead of 6. It's an old one.
I got an extra B-52 if you want it.
The old P-52, huh? We are only 35 miles out from that Afrikanda or whatever that place is. So we're going to be dropping her down here before too long. We're coming in on runway 10. We're going to be dropping it down to about 2,500 feet on approach. We can do that here in about another 10 or 15 miles. I will also be taking a little bit of a right hand, jogging out just a little bit. That will get us lined up for runway 10.
I remember them talking about re-engineing the B-52, but I believe it wasn't very cost efficient.
I think they just signed the contract this year on it.
Really? Oh, that's
they're gonna
cool.
go ahead with it.
They did that
Yeah.
to the KC-135s a while back.
Yeah, they did. Isn't that how the Electra kind of came about? The Electra used to be like an old Goonie bird, I think, and then they changed them over, and now they're called Electras. Could be wrong about
They're
that,
gonna-
but I'm pretty sure I heard that story on Ice Road Truckers.
Razor, do you know if they're gonna make some fresh ones, some fresh airframes?
God, no. I don't think they have any of the tooling or any of the designs for it anymore.
Yeah.
Even if they
Yeah,
wanted
and the
to.
electronics would be very impossible to replace.
Yeah, I mean, they've upgraded a lot of that. I'm not sure how much of it, because, I mean, the J's are semi-new. Then re-engineering I think they're already talking about changing it out to an ECAS, whatever, display and stuff for those engines. But yeah, I mean, the airframe itself there's no way they can make any more. They pulled a couple of them out of the boneyard a few years ago.
By the way, the 130 is such a unique aircraft. It's hard for them to have anything else in the inventory that can actually do all the missions that the 130 can do. So
Well,
it's a
it's one of them
specialized aircraft now.
that even back in the day, how old is that aircraft? When they first designed it, it's just the perfect design. It's the perfect airframe. It's hard to improve on it because they nailed it back in the day. I mean, they can make it longer and they can fill it with more electronics, but the actual airplane itself is the most airplane out there. It looks like an airplane, it flies like an airplane. It's just the perfect design for what it does, you know. So it's hard to improve on that.
Yeah, it's small enough to be maneuverable and large enough to carry a lot of stuff.
Yep, you can get in and out of short airstrips and everything. I see
They-
Longhorns mentioning that Blackbird Simulations update. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah, I got the email, but I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. Looking forward to that for
Yeah,
sure.
Back after World War II, they really took the, I shouldn't say it this way, but the Elon approach of trial and error to make the airplanes. There's, I think in that 20-year span after World War II or 30-year span, there's, I don't know, countless military airplanes. It's hard to keep up with. You know, the C-130, I forget all the models, but they had the two-engine version of it, and they, I think they kind of had a similar situation.
123, yeah.
Spartan.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had the C-123.
I had a nice version of that back in the FSX days. It was pretty cool. It was cheap too. I think they just kept having so many problems with it, they just almost gave it away.
Yeah, I think last time I was in Utah, I went to Hill Air Force, or maybe not last time, but the previous one. I went to Hill Air Force Base, and they have some of those many airplanes that you just don't ever really, you know, hear about and see about because they didn't put a lot into production. And it's kind of cool to see them in person.
I'm dropping down to
Too bad they're not flying.
2,500.
But you can't wish for everything.
Yeah, that was an interesting story for the 27s that the U.S. has, because they bought, the Air Force bought a bunch of them from Italy, and then it took them years to deliver them, and by the time they delivered them, they just flew them straight to the boneyard, literally from Italy straight to the boneyard.
Ah, what a waste.
Then they
Which aircraft?
did that, the C-27 Spartan.
Yeah.
They ended up pulling some of them back out within a couple of years, and they gave like 30 of them to the Coast Guard, 15 maybe, and then there's a few. The Spec Ops community flies a few of them, and they're in a few
The
other
spare
places.
parts
but,
supposed to be a problem.
C-27's got, I think it's still in production in Italy, and there's quite a few of them in Europe, so probably not too difficult, but it's definitely not a C-130 and the proliferation of it, where you can pick one up from every Air Force base. Parts up.
Yeah, there's 4 of them that usually sit out here at Patrick Air Force or Space Force Base, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's like stuck in my head because it's always been Air Force Base, but
Not anymore.
no, they do a lot more space stuff there, but they still run Air Force operations out of there for, I guess, some C-130 training stuff. Usually see them doing touch and goes there every once in a while, and they keep 4 of them there quite frequently. So
Pretty sure it's a detachment of Moody's wing. 'Cause it's a rescue squadron for space stuff.
yeah, I don't know where. I'll take your word for it.
See, when we get to Afrikansk, that is going to be our penultimate stop for the evening. It's hard to believe it's already that time, but we're going to take a 10-minute break once we get down on the ground. To give you a chance to grab a snack, grab a drink. It'll give you a chance to download the game from Game Pass and get the details on the description of the video, and you can go ahead and join us for the last leg. That'd be easy enough. You got plenty of time to do that. It's a short install. Also, hit the like and subscribe. That's fun to do. Everybody likes doing that. And we'll just spend 10 minutes on the ground. Out.
I was thinking about you a little bit last year, Razor. Did you fare well with the hurricanes? I know one went straight up your pathway.
So I moved from Valdosta 2 months after the first one. So that one was not particularly fun. We lost power for like 4 days. Thankfully, we didn't have any trees because we had cut them down a couple months before that. But like 2 of our neighbors had them go, some of their pine trees go straight through the middle of their house.
Oh no.
But
Oh, good. I'm glad that you did okay.
almost had one a couple weeks ago though, because I'm in Charleston now. So that was a fun week of trying to figure out what the heck I was gonna do.
Yeah, we did fairly well this year. I mean, there's no U.S. landfalls, I don't think, at all, which is fantastic. The country needed a year off from hurricane dramas, so.
Oh, I've got different people in the background now, of course. I reloaded. I'm like, what happened to that dude? That dude turned into a woman. Alright.
Oh, that's not uncommon these days.
Well, it looks like everybody's happy and healthy, except the person on the stretcher, but what are you going to do? We'll bring it to Russia and they'll make everything alright.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, it is a stretch.
Yeah, до свидания.
Comrade. So we're about 6 miles out. I see where the airport's going to be. I don't see it quite yet. I got the sun in the way. I'm going to turn final in about 1 mile.
Here's a question for you. Говорит по-русски?
Ooh, what was that again? Was that English?
Говорит по-русски. Do you speak Russian?
Oh, нет. Well, it looks like a nice place to take a little break here. We're going to get a beautiful view of the lake. Actually, it's not much of a lake, is it? It's more of a, what do they call that? Gulf? Like the water version of a peninsula?
A fjord.
It's not quite a fjord, but I can see we got some fjords in the distance.
There's a few fjords.
Harrison? That's one.
Later on taxiway.
Laser's turning final, runway 10.
And a golf course. I don't think that one was his fault, though.
Hey, nobody got hurt.
Yet.
I'm pretty sure they took his license away after that. He ain't flying no more.
Definitely not likely to be flying by himself. I'm not sure what came with all that, to be honest. I think there's some mention in that, at least for a while.
When you get down, back taxi to the beginning of 10, and we'll take a 10-minute break. Lazerbolt is clear to the left. Yeah, I'm going to spend a couple minutes here while we got time. I'm going to reload the entire sim and see if that fixes it so I can see you guys on the last leg.
I hope so. I hope it works
Yeah, me
out.
too.
If it doesn't work, I can change servers back and forth to see if that makes any difference. So just let me know. Or, well, you'll let
Yeah.
us know, obviously, when you get back.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I tried myself to switching servers back and forth helped, and it didn't. But like I said, it's obviously on my end. You guys don't have any problems at all, so. Good
Well,
old
I see you.
restart.
I don't know if it's a you thing. I think it's just a simulator thing.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that if it's going to be fixed, it's probably on my end that'll fix it.
Yeah, probably.
Chances are. I mean, unless both of you guys had the exact same problem, and I didn't, that would seem odd. Anyway, let's take a 10-minute break. We'll call this 25 after the hour, and at 35 past the hour, we're back up in the air. So count on that.
That's good. I'll be back too.
Before I leave here, I got to make sure I know what runway this is, or even what airport. Uniform Alpha Foxtrot Romeo. Yeah, this new sim is quite nice, especially compared to the old days with FSX. I mean, just restarting FSX would take, 10 to 15 minutes just to restart the damn thing. And you would have to do that all the time when you were playing multiplayer. It was very finicky.
Yeah, my 2020 was getting to that way, but 2024 is much nicer with it being a lot more in the cloud.
Yeah, it's a great example of not only is there improvements in hardware that make computers and everything better, but software is advanced so much compared to what it was 20 years ago. Just the structure of it and the architecture of it is so much more streamlined and more optimized than it just works so much better now.
That it does. And the other thing that I think is it's an important thing to remember too is that FSX at that time, they designed FSX for Windows XP. So then how the further Windows versions were not officially supported until Steam Edition, and then it was kind of sort of supported. But all the they didn't change the base architecture of it, so it still couldn't be updated for a lot of that stuff. And now you have pretty much all your modern games are updated every couple months, every couple years maybe, depends on situation. So yeah, you find, oh, okay, these specific computers have issues with this, these computers have issues with this, whereas before it was, okay, you test on as much as you can, you send it out to people, and oh well.
Yep. I just realized I did not put the IKO code for the final airport in the flight plan. I mean, it's in the flight plan, but it's not in the Discord. Weird.
Uniform Alpha Foxtrot Romeo traffic, Lazerbolt Lima 1 Oscar November. Taking off runway 28. Departing straight out, Uniform Alpha Foxtrot Romeo traffic.
All right, let's try this again. See if I can see you guys. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Taxiing to 10. Well, it's not looking good. I don't think I see you guys. Just the name tags. That's alright. We'll deal with it for 1 week. Hopefully it fixes itself by next week.
I'll take a second here and go back and forth and see if maybe, probably for nothing, but it's okay. It only takes me a second. Oh, where is it at nowadays? Settings menu?
Yeah, settings online.
Now, when you pause it, there's the cogwheel at the top right. And then
Okay,
on the
yeah,
list, it
got
says something about online, and it's somewhere in there.
Thank you. Alright, went to east, went back out.
I noticed the east has a way better ping than what we're doing.
West. Yeah, we started doing west a long time ago because we were having a lot of issues with the east and oversaturation. A lot of
Right.
people typically fly on the east server. That was in the 2020 days. I'm back to west. I see you normal and I see Razor.
I don't see
Basically
either one
normal.
of yous. Very odd how FSX, just flight sims in general, really likes to throw you a curveball here and there. I've never seen this before. An odd occurrence. We got 3 minutes and we're going to be back up in the air. That'll give me just enough
Have you
time
tried-
to reboot my cocktail, see if that helps.
Have you tried pouring gasoline on your computer? That usually fixes mine.
I'm going to pour some gasoline in my drink, though. Also known as vodka.
Does it rebuild the content folder every time you log back in or start the system?
I'm not sure how that works.
One of the things I saw is the so-called, one of them says delete the content folder. I would simply just rename it.
Right, that might fix all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Chances are very high that the next time I load it up, it'll work just fine. You know how it is.
Usually that content folder is mostly from add-on software issues from that, but Laser's not one to load too much add-on stuff in his sim. The asphalt textures are definitely noticeably very good and pretty realistic. Do enjoy that out of the box.
Alrighty, much better. This last leg does have some elevation going on. Why don't we climb up to 7,000 feet? That should get us there. If that's not high enough, we can always go a little higher.
Can you take me higher?
Well, Longhorn brings up a good point. He says Mateo had the same thing happen last week, and that's right, he did. He had his AI traffic disabled for an add-on, blah, blah, blah. He was running check the AI traffic. That's a good point. I don't know why that would have mysteriously turned itself off, but stuff like that does happen. Where in the world
I
would I
would've never
find
guessed.
AI traffic?
If you go to settings and then graphics and then the bottom drop down and then there's like traffic quality and traffic quantity, I think, something like that. Traffic variety and traffic quantity, something. So I have mine on ultra, but aircraft traffic quantity. Just make sure that
Yeah, I've
it's
got all of that set
so
to high.
change that to
Yeah, everything is set
change
to
it to
high.
ultra or change it to medium or something and see if that changes it.
Turn it off and then back on again.
Alt F4.
Well, no dice on finding that, but we'll get these birds up in the air anyway. Yeah, like I said, we're going to be climbing up to 7,000 feet this time. 160 knots, 7,000 feet. Slight left-hand turn to get us out of here. Lazerbolt is rolling. So Longhorn says, it looks like I had it turned off. Do you know, what page was that on? Was that on the assistances, or was it...
The only one I saw that was off that might look similar to it is that you had AI traffic off in career, but that wouldn't be it because I have that off too.
Right, right, the traffic and career thing. I almost switched it, and then I thought, nah, that can't be it. Well, although it could be. Y'all might see me paused for just a second as I check my stuff. I suppose I do have that air traffic and career turned off. I could turn that on, but I doubt that's it.
Yeah, I doubt it, but it might refresh something. Be the only thing I could think.
Certainly couldn't hurt. So our buddy Brennan from Page Turners There Were Not stopped in to say, hey, well, hello, buddy. Happy Friday to you. Hopefully you're having a good time. I know you just recently had a birthday the last couple of days, so happy birthday to you. If you guys like to get in-depth on real nerdy stuff like I do, then you should check out Page Turners They Were Not. He gets into all kinds of good stuff, from Star Wars to Star Trek to Lord of the Rings. I've seen some Dune discussions going on around his channel. Yeah, check out Page Turners They Were Not. He's got some interesting stuff going on. I was a little bummed that I missed your birthday stream last week, but it was going on at the same time as this one. Yeah, I didn't realize that you were going to be going so late. I could have actually caught the end of it, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. Yeah, this is our last evening in Scandinavia. It's a beautiful flight so far today. It's been a lot of snow and a lot of water and a little bit of elevation happening with the mountains and stuff. But it's pretty nice around here. Next week we're going to be heading to Japan, and I already know that's pretty nice around there too. That should be beautiful. We're going to fly the C-130 to Japan, and then the week after that we'll switch to something a little slower so we can check out the sights a little more.
Yeah, they got all the new stuff there now.
Yeah, they just had an update for it like last week, and I haven't checked out any of it. It was already pretty nice looking. They just, you know how they do that. They went through a lot of it with a fine-tooth comb and added some extra points of interest and some new details on the airports and stuff. It should be nice.
Hey, Laser,
Yes, sir.
could you do me something? Go back and turn off multiplayer selected in close proximity under General Tab settings, and see if that doesn't change anything. Come back into the game,
Hold on.
and then see if you can see it. If that otherwise, then go back and change it back again.
I remember seeing that.
I think it's the you have it checked in your sim, but I think it's not checked in the interface. See what I'm saying?
Right, right. Like I said, it was on, at least visually it said it was on. I turned it off and turned it back on again. Maybe that toggled it, and maybe that's what
Yeah,
it
but
is.
gotta come back into the game. I don't know if you want to do it or not. It's a little late.
Oh, it only took a second. I already tried it. Let's see if that made a difference. I think that's for like, like when you get really super close to somebody, they kind of turn invisible. So you never actually run into each other. If you get too close to somebody, they're like a ghost and they just kind of get see-through. I think that's what that's all about. That turns it on and off, as in if you turn that on, then they never turn into a ghost. When you're in close proximity, they're solid no matter how close you are. That's what that is.
Yeah, there's too many of those things going on.
Well, there's a million of them, and they change them all the time. You know what I mean? They change what it's called. They change where it's at. Like, I can picture there used to be, like, I think it was under assistances maybe, or something like that, where there was actually a couple little toggles for the traffic, and, it wasn't quite like the one that I found. Of course, maybe I need to go through all of my traffic sliders and toggle them all on. There's like 10, 15 of them in the list, just toggle it off, put it back on, and see if that does anything. Chances are almost 100% that next week everything's going to work just fine. Flight Sim just has a tendency to do that. It gets weird on you. At least I can see your name tags, but I would really like to see that F-16 you're in. Even though I wouldn't see it properly anyway, it would give me a substitution. I'd like to see something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to LAX later on this week or weekend and see if you could see people and if figure it out some busy place like that pretty easily.
Right. Yeah, there's nobody in the skies around here. It's pretty desolate.
If you see people, I wouldn't worry about it.
Nah, I'm already not worried about it. Like I said, this stuff, it fixes itself in the game. So I'll pull my speed back a little bit. This thing really wants to go fast.
Alright, Razor, I know we haven't really talked about flight sim stuff in quite a long time, but something that made me appreciate kind of what you do or did in the past was the air show stuff, and that the exterior sound of like airplanes flying by and stuff is just really spot on with both 2020 and 24. Like much higher fidelity. Of course not perfect, but it's close enough that like if you watched an air show from the ground, that you could get a much more full experience compared to the sims of the past.
Yeah, it's definitely improved from FSX. DCS still blows MSFS out of the water on that, because it's the same fidelity as your aircraft. So if you're sitting on the ground and someone breaks the speed of sound or just flies over you, it's effectively identical to the audio if you were in the outside view from the same place.
Nice.
I'm still impressed that, like in this new sim, when you're at airports and stuff, you can hear the vehicles. All the, like, you know, big old tank truck drives by, you hear it. It sounds nice. You used to be able to not hear anything. Plus, the lights always look good. The tail lights are reflecting off of everything. It's everything looks good, sounds good. For our final stop of the evening, we're going to be heading to Krasnoshchelye Airport. It's Russia for sure. Well, when we get there, we're going to be landing on runway 12. Count on that, runway 12. We have, it's not really big, it's 3,000 foot of asphalt. That's by far the shortest runway we've landed on in weeks, but it's big enough for these things. So count on that, 3,000 feet of concrete at an elevation of 500 feet. Runway 12, runway 12. Actually, seems like it's been a while since we've landed at a relatively short strip. Yeah, Brendan, I don't know if you're still watching, but I don't know how big of a fan you are of Tron. But we were talking about Tron earlier, that coming out this week, and I myself am looking forward to it. I've always liked Tron, and I like movies. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So much so that I might gasp. I might actually go to the theater to see it. I don't do that very often anymore, but sometimes, you know, it sounds fun. That definitely looks like a movie you need to see on the big screen to appreciate it to the most. And like I said, I've heard some grumblings that a lot of people aren't super impressed with the story and all this and yada yada yada. I don't know. It looks fun to me. It looks visually spectacular, and I know I'll like it. My superpower is I know what I like, and I'm gonna like that.
Any choice of the 16 versus the 18?
You mean the default F-18?
Is that the only one?
Yeah. Well,
That's
there's
the one they released with
freeware
Maverick,
one.
right?
That was the. Yeah, there's a freeware one that. Well, the F-18 came with the base sim, but then they added an updated one for Maverick with the scanner and all that. But yeah, there's a freeware one that's a port of the default FSX one, which is not good. But the one in 2020 is, or 2020, 2024 is also very bad.
Gotcha.
Like when we were still trying to fly, the team was trying to see if we could fly in 2020. We stripped everything out of it. We took all the AVLX out of it basically and tried to build the flight dynamics from the ground up because it was so bad. It did not work.
Too much lag and stuff like that.
Well, they tried to do. One thing is you can't do a high alpha in it at all, because if you get under like 150 knots, it just falls out of the sky. Even if you try to power out of it, it just doesn't hold any alpha. And then for actual formation flying, they tried to simulate the real airplane pitches to 1G when you're over 200 knots. So if you let go of the stick, no matter what attitude you're at, it's going to try to maintain 1G as long as you're over 200 knots. So they did that correctly, but the problem was there was a dead zone, not like the dead zone in your stick, because if you had 0 dead zone, it wouldn't do anything. You could look down at the actual stick in the airplane, and it would be moving, but then it wouldn't move until you got to like 1.2 Gs. So it would literally go from 1G to 1.2 Gs. It would skip over 1.1, so it would just jump every time you tried to start a turn.
A little too jarring when, I mean, if you're flying by yourself, that's okay, but if you're trying to get everybody together, that's no way, man.
Yeah.
So is there anything different in the new sim? Did they improve any of that? There's supposed to be way better aerial dynamics and stuff going on with wake turbulence and all that crap.
No. They did. I'm sure there's stuff that has changed with it, but no, they didn't change the flight dynamics of it at all, so it's still the same.
One thing I was super disappointed in, that they made a big deal about the wake turbulence of it all, but it's broken in multiplayer. If you have your wake turbulence turned on in multiplayer and there's more than 2 people with you, the frame rate just goes to hell. And I'm thinking, well, if you're not playing in multiplayer, what the hell good is wake turbulence anyway? You know what I mean? I mean, why even have it if you can't play it in multiplayer?
It's AI traffic. I mean, that's like ultimately Azobo spends some time on multiplayer. They don't care about it though. It's been apparent since 2020 came out.
Yeah,
I mean,
I just turned it off.
Even just the
it wasn't working.
Yeah, even just the thing we were just talking about with when you fly close to someone, that took them almost 2.5 years, I think, to finally enable that setting to where you could fly in formation and not, like, to actually get it to work correctly, because they were still having issues with it. And yeah, so like any of the other stuff, like the F-18's flight dynamics like that, I could post it on the forums and say this is an issue, but there's no way they're going to fix it, because they're not going to care. And then 2024, I mean, the sim looks great. It's a great improvement, but the launch of it was something. So
yeah, it was. Well, it's like
they've
most
just
big
been trying to
games.
fix that since it.
Most big games nowadays are like that, though. You know, I mean, that's just how they roll out.
Not,
They're not going to roll out
not to that
100%.
level, though.
It's, you know, and I don't know. It
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
bother me that much. The way I see it, especially in this game, it's called 2024. They had to release it within the next month. They missed that date entirely. And hey,
well,
it's way easier for us to hold off on buying it than it is for them to hold off on releasing it. So I don't got a problem with them releasing it basically unfinished. It had some work to do for sure. But it doesn't mean we have to buy it day one. You know, go ahead and let them release it. And there's no better way to test a game than to have a million people break it all at the same time. That's a good test right there. You know, but I don't know. I just, the people that were complaining about it, my stance was, well, you don't have to buy it. They basically do have to release it. They've got to release it, but we don't got to buy it. You can wait till it's good. We all knew it was going to be good someday. It's fantastic now. I love it. There's issues, but in the grand scheme of things, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is, and we'll see what happens in the longer term, the problem is they torch their reputation. I don't
for a
know that
long
you
time
can argue
people
that
were
at
pretty
all.
down
Like,
on it.
even if you look at the reviews right now, they are horrendous.
That's a shame too.
Just because that's
it's beautiful. I love it. It runs nice and smooth. And like I said, there's issues, but it's little things that certainly don't make the game unplayable. You know, just little tiny stuff that they could clean up a lot of loose ends for sure. It's a complicated piece of machinery, though.
Yeah. I mean, I know they tried to, or the rumor was they tried to delay it because I mean it says 2024 and whatever, but they tried to delay it and Microsoft told them no.
I can see it.
That's pretty.
That's business, man. That's
pretty
business. Like I said,
pretty
they've got
likely
a
exactly
million
what
reasons. They've got a million reasons why they can't delay it, and I've got 0 reasons why I'd have to buy it right away. I could wait. Of course, I bought it day one, but I didn't complain about it. I knew it was going to be rough.
I guarantee you, Oregon and the Asobo both want to just mainly do the right thing. Keep getting a paycheck, of course, not for free, but do the right thing for the community too. They've definitely shown in many ways that they care more about the community than Microsoft ever has, and I think that they have a choice. Either
Microsoft has a bunch of investors to keep happy, you know, like all companies do. But you know, if Microsoft has the investors putting their thumb down, well, you got to release the game. That's all there is.
Anyways,
Hopefully it doesn't kill the game, because that's my concern with it, is that I don't know that they're going to get a green light for the next one. No. Because I mean, that is Microsoft doesn't care. Oh, you've made it better in 2 years, or in a year, or in 8 months, or whatever. They care that the reviews are not good. There's a lot of people that didn't like it, and if you have bad reviews and people that don't like, a lot of the people that would have started with that in the first couple weeks, because it's a new release. Oh man, this is terrible. I can't even get into the sim because it's just on this loading screen.
There was a lot.
That's
of
their
that.
experience with the sim, and they uninstalled it and they haven't reinstalled it. And
For
they're not going
months,
to, because they have all this
we
hype.
ran into people constantly that they were still on 2020. When we started flying our group flights in 2024, it took a couple months before there was a good group of people that were on board. You know, a lot of people just wanted to stay with 2020.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a lot of back-end stuff from developer side that I don't know how sustainable it is, because they locked stuff down, so you can't do a lot of stuff. Repainting airplanes is very, very difficult now, if not impossible.
Yeah,
for some.
Nova
I
told
looked
us
into
about
it once.
those issues.
Yeah, that used to be something I loved doing, and I looked into how to do it on the new sim, and I was just like, nope. My eyes glossed over in 10 minutes, and I was like, okay, moving on. I'm not gonna be doing that today.
So I don't know. Well, we'll see. But that's my concern with it, is that they did not have a good launch from the corporate side of things. It's going to be very difficult for them to make an argument for a new version or a major update version of any in the future.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we got at least 3 years before they are even thinking about releasing a new one. You know, at least the other one was around for about 4 years before they came out with a new one. So this one's barely a year into it.
It's kind of a big catch-22, and I know we see this in other places in life, but you know, you get forced to release a bad product, and then they say, "Oh, your product was bad," you know, and you got a lot of bad reviews.
Corporate thinking. Yeah, that's corporate thinking right there.
That's your fault, not our fault.
Yeah, that's people, you know, the greedy money in their heart and trying to keep the investors happy, which I understand. You got to do. You got to keep the investors happy, And this kind of snafu happens a lot in corporations that just, they're just that corporate bureaucracy mentality that kind of screws everything up.
They did a reasonably good job with the 2020 release, except COVID started hitting, and then they're like, yeah, we gotta let this go now. Like, and then that's when they basically released it so that people, well, then first of all, the company can capitalize off of that even if it's not perfect. But second of all, it was close enough to be like, well, it's not great, but it's not perfect, but it's getting pretty close. And I don't know, I think they made a tough decision on that, but also probably a good one for the time.
Yeah, I think the version that I'm not saying the features that they had in 2020 versus 2024, but the completeness of what they were trying to do in 2020 was leaps and bounds above what they released for the first day in 2024.
Especially on day one. 2020 came out of the box pretty sharp, man. It was pretty good. Had its issues too, but they were fixed quickly. Oh well, I don't know.
Hey,
Myself, I think that they do have the right to release a game every 4 years. Most companies would release one every year if it was success. But I kind of hope that they hold on to this one a little longer than 4 years. Make it 5 or 6 years. Maybe then the Microsoft and whatever the corporate end of it will have, changed their mind a little bit. When they got to look at the numbers, and this is a good selling game. It's a very good selling game. They're making money hand over fist. Some of the reviews are bad, but that's just how people are. I still to this day see people calling it unplayable garbage. Does this look like unplayable garbage to you? We fly it every week and just absolutely have a blast. I fly this thing every day, and it's phenomenal. Not without its issues, but that's life, man. It's certainly not unplayable garbage, but there's people out there that's just the kind of talk they like to use. They love nothing more than to go and to give a Microsoft product a bad review. It makes them feel great.
Only time
I do wonder what their profit is for this. Obviously, we'll never know that, but because they've sold a lot of copies of it. I know, but that initial release stunted what they could have made.
Oh, for sure.
And this had to be a very, very expensive system to make with the servers that they had to spin up and all the infrastructure for all that. Then all the new development they actually had to do to get that to work as reasonably well as it does.
I feel like they might have released it a little too soon. Like most companies would have released a game before 4 years out. They would have released another version of it. So they already took their time releasing another version. But this is not that kind of game. I think most of us were surprised when we heard of 2024. We're like, wait a minute, what? There's going to be a new one already? Most of us were a little surprised. It didn't seem like there was enough time. I was just getting used to this one.
Yeah.
Maybe every 4 years is just a little too soon.
Well, they said they didn't plan to. So the reason Microsoft Flight Simulator was Microsoft Flight Simulator, not Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, was that they didn't expect that to happen. But what they found was that the 2020 was bloating so significantly because everything was locally stored, or almost everything except for the scenery is locally stored. They had to redesign the sim to be streamed, and in order for them to do that, they had to rebuild the sim. So that's why 2024 exists, because they were planning to just make it an upgrade.
Right.
But as they started digging into it in R&D, they realized that wasn't possible. So the next version of the sim, if there is one,
that makes a lot of
there'll
sense.
have to be something else like that, which unfortunately, what I think that will be is restricting third parties from editing anything.
Oh no.
I think at the end of the day, it does cost money to keep these people working. Okay, like probably more money than we even know what's going on. It'd be kind of refreshing for the community to see the numbers, and of course, when you open that Pandora's box, you're gonna have people saying, "Why are you paying these people so much for doing nothing all the time?" Which is clearly not going to be really the case. But yeah, I was happy to pay for a new flight sim upgrade, I suppose you could say. I was not happy to have the same issues everybody else did on day one. That was definitely a smelly stack of hot garbage at the first week. But after the first week or two, it started getting a little better, and then we got down to the real bugs of the thing. And after a month or two went by, yeah, it was becoming into a wow, I can kind of start using this as a real sim now.
I would still rather have it this way than the way they did FSX. Remember that? FSX comes out and it's like, hey, on day one, it was relatively okay. It was, it was much more complete than now. They had to hurry up and rush and get a service pack out. But at least nowadays, they fully support the game all the time. They're always improving it. They're always working on it. Back at FSX, what did they have? They had 2 service updates that were like mandatory. They needed those, and that was it. That was all the support this game ever got, was 2 lousy service updates, and FSX was, there you go, and that was the most unoptimized, clunky piece of hardware ever. It was so terrible.
I wouldn't say
we used
they're
it forever.
lousy.
At least nowadays they keep updating it. They keep fixing it.
Lasted forever.
Yeah, it did. We played that for 10 years, man.
But yeah, I mean, I think the level of fidelity, not just Flight Simulator, of any program that was made before the internet updates were a norm.
Right.
I think kind of like Xbox actually made that into a thing before anything else started becoming more of a thing. I might be a little bit wrong on that, but yeah, it was basically you are delivering a final product that is not expected to get updates, and that's a difference between programming today compared to 20-30 years ago, was that you're not delivering a final product today anymore, unless if you're delivering it to like a high, like enterprise level situation.
Yeah. But still, though, that's kind of my point, to where, you have to know nowadays, that's how it works, people. If there's a major release, when GTA 6 comes out, it is not going to be 100% perfect. There's going to be people losing their minds because it's not 100% perfect. But it don't work that way anymore. That is not how it works. The game is far too complex to have it absolutely perfect coming in. We've already waited all these years. Do you want to wait another 5 years? It still won't be perfect. It still won't be perfect. Let them release it when they release it, and it's going to happen the way it happens, I don't know. So people really like complaining, man.
Yeah, I think that the difference there, I think, will be that, I mean, we may come back in 7 months and I'll eat my words on it, or whatever, half a year, or a year, whatever. But I think that will be a very different launch. Yes, there will be bugs. There will be issues they have to fix. It will not be you cannot get into it for 2 days. 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, it will be pretty polished though, because Rockstar does.
Yeah,
because
I mean, even
shit. But
even like Battlefield, they just released
their last big one,
today,
Red Dead Revolver 2. That was full of issues when it came out too, and everybody had the same reaction. And it's just like, calm down, people. Just give it a minute. Calm down.
The problem with Rockstar, especially Red Dead Redemption, is that they don't fix the bugs that are repeatable on everybody's system, that everybody is bringing up to them as an issue. And I do like Rockstar's work, in general, but I think some of the gripes on that one that I personally seen, that happens to every single person, and that they don't fix for years, is something that I can't, that's not something that they do here on 2020.
They definitely do that. I mean, there was like 2.5 years, 2 years that there was an error or an issue with everyone in VR. If you tried to move your screen or move your view with your mouse, then you'd have a white circle in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, I remember that.
Definitely a shorter list of
runway.
Daily errors. It's good.
Coming in runway 12, turning final, runway 12.
What I really want to see on GTA 6 is when a crash happens, I want the error message to say Florida man crashed your game on there, I think.
Oh, just when like that kind of crash happens.
Sorry, Florida man crashed your game. Yeah, just like good debugging and stuff. I think they take a lot better care of GTA 5 more than Red Dead 2, online especially. I think there's one that makes them a lot more money than the other, and that might be part of the reason why. But yeah,
GTA makes them a poop ton of money.
Yeah, even after all these years.
Yeah, well, they have done a financially / business-wise, they have done a very good job of designing the game that way now. Because I mean, I don't. When we used to play it, it was, oh, you could get in, you could grind a couple missions for 2 or 3 hours, and you could buy just about anything in the game. You got to play for like 3 weeks now if you want to buy something.
Yeah, but still, I
If you
like
don't already
how
have a stack of
even to
money.
this day, all these years later, they're still dropping updates for it. They're still dropping improvements and new stuff that you could buy with all the money you've made in the past 10 years, you know.
I keep meaning to try to get on the, I guess, new version, the enhanced version. They say
It's really good.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
it looks great, and it runs nice and smooth.
But that's another thing that goes to our discussion earlier, is that it took some random community member, like, this is many years after it was the online was released, like at least 5 years, and to say, oh, well, you can shorten the loading times by like a quarter if you just put this in your code. And he released it to the public, and then Rockstar, I think they asked him first, which was a plus, but regardless, they added it into their code because it was not anything bad or intrusive or anything like that. So
Yeah, I just breezed right past that airport. I thought that was the airport down there, but my actual runway didn't load in. Now I got a runway, and I know I went past it, coming back around.
I was wondering the same thing too, because my runway didn't load in, and then I was just like, well, I'm following you. I'm not.
I thought that
really
was where
worried
it
about
goes. It looks like, oh, yeah, and I got real close to it, and it still didn't look like a runway, and I thought, well, that's not it. I kept looking. But yeah, that was it. Reminder, it's kind of a short one, so make sure you're on your toes.
Yeah, it still looks like a gray blob to me.
Yeah, I got a runway now.
Just
It's not much. It's a gray blob on top of a gray blob. Alright, let's try this again. It's okay, this is kind of a short night. We've got time. We've got time to try it twice.
As long as you got fuel in the tank, so you got time.
I got plenty. I just started at that last airport.
Altitude and fuel are your friend.
Gotta have both. Speed don't hurt either. Of course, if you got altitude, speed's not a problem. Alright, trying this again. Are you guys on the ground already, or you going around?
Why, dude?
So I don't see any name tags anymore. Yeah, this runway is so plain it almost looks like it's missing a texture or something. Maybe not, it's just clean.
I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with it.
Brakes, brakes, brakes. Stop, stop. No problem.
It does look like just somebody just decided to concrete
It looks unfinished.
a big
When
old
you get
pad
real
out
close,
here.
you can
Yeah.
see the textures when you get real close.
Ooh, I got real close to slamming that down if I didn't flare right when I did.
Well, that's not too bad. I got her down. There is absolutely nothing here, and they call this an airport. They got a windsock.
It's the ground port.
It's not doing much at the moment.
This looks abandoned.
It does, doesn't it? It might be. Gets used about once a month.
One of those emergency strips they used to make, you know?
I'm really liking this Aerostar. I think A2A did a pretty good job on it.
Liking that, huh?
Yeah. I'm sure somebody could probably gripe about it, but something that I noticed right off the bat is it does feel a little bit more realistic on some of the flight envelopes, and especially the low speed or the in between takeoff and landing and stuff, like the transition between flying and such. It really does a good job with the physics of it compared to default airplanes.
You said it's A2A, and those guys usually do a pretty good job on their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to popping in the new Dirty 30. I'm going to put a couple hours into that tonight just to see what the new update's about. I still got a lot of getting used to on that plane, a whole lot of getting used to. It's pretty complicated.
It's been a while since they put in an update, so it's probably significant.
Yeah, it has. I saw the list of stuff they did, and it's a lot.
See you later, guys. Take it easy.
Coast,
Have a good night,
it's
Coast.
good to
Nice
see
to
you,
hear from
buddy.
you.
Yeah, have yourself a good weekend there, buddy, and don't get too cold when this cold snap comes in.
Yeah, I go this Monday to get some testing done, and I'll find out how good I am.
Right on.
Yeah,
Tell
hope
them
it
your
goes
friends
better
say
than
you sound
expected.
great.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
Like a
Bye.
Yeah, that's one thing. It fixes that disappearing airplane stuff. All my settings are all messed up from all the different reinstalls I've done.
Yeah, like I said, I think the best thing I can do is just wait till next week. It'll probably work fine. Or I can test it out sometime during this week just by going to a, big popular airport somewhere.
Yeah. It shows you our name tags though.
Yeah, I got the name tags. This is exactly what was happening to Matu. I think Longhorn was right. Matu had this exact same thing. He could see our name tags, but when he got close, we weren't there. And he fixed it right up. It was, for sure for him, it was the AI aircraft. He turned it off. And then maybe I should turn it off and then turn it back on.
Yeah.
I would have thought maybe it's my, that multiplayer setting that you can get when you're in the, what do they call it, flight conditions or whatever, when you're making your flight plan. There's that one set of things that you can change. I thought it would have been that, but if it was, I wouldn't even see your name tag. And you wouldn't see me.
Exactly.
Well, you might see me.
Well, gentlemen, I'm gonna bounce out as well. It was a good flight, Laser, and
Yeah.
thank you for having me. And nice to see you, Razor. It's been a while, too long.
You too.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing you, buddy.
It's a good chat.
Yeah, count on next week. Dust off that C-130, and we're gonna head out of the Aleutian Islands. Should be a good time.
Hey, you guys have a good night. See you later.
Yep. Take care, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut the stream down on that note as well. Everybody had a good old time. Thanks for watching. We're going to be leaving this Scandinavian Russia area next week. We're heading to Japan, and we're going to do it in my favorite aircraft of all time, the C-130 Hercules. So we'll be here same time next Friday. We will see you then. Have a good night, everybody.